David starts off today pretty intense, right? My God, why have you forsaken me? Have you ever prayed that? I mean, that statement's famous because Jesus prayed it on the cross, right? The more I see the statements out of Psalms that he stated on the cross, I believe that he wasn't just stating something from the Psalms. I believe he was praying that entire prayer when he was stating that sentence. See, David felt abandonment, and Jesus felt abandonment. And you know what? We feel abandoned by God sometimes. And David flat out comes out and says it before God. Why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from my deliverance and from my words of groaning? How do we survive these times where we feel like we're abandoned by God? This is a pretty long psalm, but something stuck out to me in the middle of it. You took me from the womb, making me secure while at my mother's breast. I was given over to you at birth. You have been my God from my mother's womb. Look, David, right now, he's in the middle of the forest. He's in the middle of the forest and he feels abandoned because he's in the middle of the forest. He's staring at the tree, staring at the difficulty and going, what is going on, God? But when he's able to step back, when he's able to see the forest, when he's able to see his entire life, you know what he's able to figure out and say? He goes, you know what, God? From the very beginning, from the womb, from my mother's breast, you have had a purpose, you have had a plan, and through the ups and through the downs, through the times of closeness and through the times of abandonment, you know what, God? You have always been there. You have always been working. You have always been leading me in a specific direction. And guess what? Right now, in the middle of the forest, in the middle of staring at this tree of difficulty, and I don't get it, and I feel abandoned, but what I know is this. You still are working for a purpose. And guess what? He's doing the same thing in your life. And you know what? When you recognize that, despite of the tree right in front of your face, when you recognize that and you recognize that truth, that will bring you life, just like it did for David. I will give praise in the great congregation because of you. I will fulfill my vows before those who fear you. The humble will eat and be satisfied. Those who seek the Lord will praise him. May your hearts live forever. David chooses to act off of truth and not feelings. What he was feeling was the tree of abandonment. That's what he was feeling, but he was taking a step back and deciding to act on the truth of the entirety of his life and how God has always worked out of plan and purpose in his life. And David decided to act with praise, worshiping God. Despite the fact that his abandonment wasn't going away, he still decided to praise. The everyday prayer is this: trust God despite the feeling of abandonment. Trust God to the point of praise despite the feeling of abandonment. David prayed it. Jesus prayed it. You can pray it too. Step back. See how God has outlined everything in your past and recognize that he is using this right now to shape you right now. So decide to trust him in the truth and praise him despite your feelings.